Hello and very good evening and welcome once again to your favorite show, The PEP Talk, with your favorite trainer, Sudeep Nag. Well, today I'm going to talk about barriers to communication, and especially I'm going to throw some light on this topic in today's current times when we are in a virtual world, in a virtual setup, managing virtual team, thinking of virtual leadership, conducting webinars and online sessions, presentations online. So most of it is online. So we have to understand the barriers of communication in a new perspective and put it in place so that we can overcome these barriers, especially if you are communicating with your teams online. So first, let me in general make you understand what do I mean by barriers to communication. Well, first things first, communication is a complex process. If I say that somebody is a good communicator or a bad communicator, it does not really make sense, because it's not about being good or bad, it's a complex process. So this statement will have very little weightage. So when I talk about this process, I talk about three aspects. One is our ability to speak confidently, and that would play even a higher and important role when we are virtually speaking, or we are speaking on the phone, or for that matter using a Zoom or Skype, or for that matter Google Meet. Now, having understood that speaking power or the speaking ability skills, this is important. Well, there could be a barrier here when you're talking about using technical aspects of it, the sound system, the technicalities, the internet connection in virtual sense, added with in general the language barrier, cultural barrier. So that will really magnify when you're trying to communicate online and managing diverse teams across the globe. So that would really take a lot of understanding and slowing the process down of communication and making the process of feedback a little more frequent. That could really help you get out of this pit hole of barriers to communication in terms of your speaking skills. Number two is your listening skills. I've already made certain videos on listening skills, but when I talk about barriers, it is that you don't want to listen, you don't have time to listen. I understand you're working from home. Unlike many of us, we thought that working from home could be really a pleasure, but we just found out that it's actually stressful, and you are ending up working more than 12 hours or so a day. Now, when you are working and communicating with so many people online, you notice that people do not have the capability of listening, especially online webinars or presentations where they are present. They switch off their videos and just go somewhere else, or they take a nap. I also talk about this priority of this thing happening in an starting level of employees or students in the colleges, or the first line of employees that we have seen. So but this really causes a barrier, because the person has either selectively listened or just heard it, or hasn't even listened at all. So how to get over this crisis in terms of effective listening is the same formula in a different capsule. What do I mean by that is attentive listening, in terms of listening by asking questions. So you have to frequent your ability to ask questions while you are listening to people, because you can use the chat, or you can unmute yourself, or for that matter call that person later on and clarify. So clarification and question, open-ended and closed-ended questions and probing questions, will help you on an online setup to overcome a listening barrier. So listening to communication in terms of listening barrier. When I'm talking about the third and most important is your body language. Now, first of all, your virtual presence has to be good. I already mentioned the ambience where you are speaking from has to be good. You have to try to use technical aspects to reduce the sound. Again, barriers to communication could be cultural, could be our inability to pick up unsaid words, inexperience. So added with that, again magnifies in the virtual world, because you would not give a good image or presentation of yourself if you do not understand how to face the camera, how to look into the camera, how to speak confidently, how not to be jittery, hesitate, or have that body language which shows that you are not confident. So if you can work on these things, especially try to master facing the camera, having a good setup, having those technical tools, and have the presence online, and you can do this by practice and listening to such videos, watching people who are good at it, and really remove this barrier to communication in terms of body language. So friends, I've mentioned clearly in this video three aspects which will help you to be a better communicator, good effective communicator, remove barriers in terms of your speaking ability, in terms of your listening ability, in terms of your body language and posture gestures. Do write to me, do call me up, do keep in touch. Let me know how you like this video, all other videos you have watched on the Pep Talk, and I'm so thankful for that. Have a great day, and be safe, be well, and keep smiling.